I think by now, sensible Americans realize, that most Muslims are not extremists, are not terrorists or whatever. But I think that what remains is this perception that a large amount of Muslims will, aid or abet or harbor some of the more extremist elements in their community. How true do you think that is? And what can be done to either fix the problem or counteract the perception if it's entirely false?
Our dream agenda will be, let us settle that Islam is not this. That's
right.
number one. Number two, how we find the 1 or 2 or 3% together, not as Muslims versus non-Muslims or FBI versus suspects. Let us, Muslim community, in cooperation with the American society, to find out the bad people, whether they are Muslims or not.
So if that perception then is demonstrably false, the suggestion is that we as non-Muslims and Muslims need to work more closely
Absolutely.
Together.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this is the only way. There is no, the war against terrorism in America will never be won without the full participation of Muslims.
Absolutely.
But then, what is the basis of Sharia law? Isn't it your religion?
No, of course, it is a religion. It is the word of God. And the word of God is to make me free and to make my own choices intelligently and out of purity of my heart and sharpness of my mind. There is nothing in Sharia law is do that because otherwise you'll be beaten.
Does Islam reward those who, in some way, reward those who martyr themselves for the religion? And I guess maybe this is a two-part thing, like those who are genuine martyrs, A, and B, those who may perhaps be misguided in, for instance, killing others in the name of Allah.
Does Islam want me to die for Islam? I challenge that very much. Islam wants me to live for Islam.
Do you think there's a way of changing that focus then from those who die for Islam versus those who live for Islam? I know like in Catholicism we don't value martyrs so much as saints, those who live for God, like Mother Teresa who served her entire life has been sainted. Is there a way of changing that focus?
We should stop feeding the beautifying death and making it something sacred and holy, because it is not. Death is described in the Quran as a calamity, as something that if inflicts you, you seek patience and solace with God. You ask God to give you the power to deal with it. It's not something and then the guy goes and dies and his family is celebrating. That's, we really poisoned the mind of a generation, that they prefer to die than they prefer to live.